Hey, boys and girls, Doug Giles here. Rich, it's Warriors.
And Wildmen, what's going down, Doug?
I'm yelling, you know.
Good.
I'm a yeller.
Good, me too.
Yeah, and not only am I a yeller, but I'm an intolerant, judgmental yeller, according to the last chick that interviewed me, that I didn't agree with her sweet, I'm talking sweet, rich, and oh so sassy secular Jesus.
Oh, nice. You know what I like to tell people like that, Doug? Shut up.
Yeah,
I do. I tell them to shut up. I just tell them, shut up, shut up.
But you know the thing that I got in this interview with her is that
You learned something from something you said? Because she didn't say anything of any intelligence?
Well, aside from that, but not only is she smarter than me, but I picked up on her sarcasm when she was making those points that she was smarter than me, and when she was condescending on me. So I feel like I'm getting sharper. Either that, or she needs to up her game in regards to laying out that sarcasm. But I picked up on it. I picked up on it, Rich. It was pretty thick, but
I'll give you a tactic that I like to use.
Hit me.
You've probably unknowingly seen me employ this tactic. I like to come.
It's voice change.
I like to come in slow and low, Doug. I like to come in and act like, and then I use slang. I'll use bad grammar, and I try to act like I'm not that smart, and then I let them get so excited, and they start getting off on their point, you know? And then what I do is, with poor grammar, the intentional use of poor grammar, I tie their argument up in a knot. And so, man, you're so much smarter and more educated than me, and then I blow you away, and then I act like I didn't know I did it, and then I go ahead and I do it intentionally from a different angle.
Dude, you're
3 or 4 more times.
Dude, you're the magic man that Hart sang about. You know the song Magic Man?
Now remember,
he's the magic man.
Yep.
And yeah. The magic man.
I thought you were talking about from Ricky Bobby. Magic Man.
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, he says, now you see me? Now you don't.
Boom.
And he says, that's a stupid nickname. He goes, is it Ricky? Or are you just jealous? He goes, you know what? You're right, I am jealous. That's an awesome name. He said, I might as going to be El Diablo. He said, I think that's like a fighting chicken or something.
Fighting chicken. This guy told me the other day, he goes, I don't find Will Ferrell funny. He's like, are you kidding me? He's now, not everything he does is funny.
Right,
but,
right. I think sometimes he's over the top and I ain't in the mood. But some stuff that he does, he cracks me up. He's great. Let's talk about
Step Brothers, Talladega Nights.
Let's talk about cocky, obnoxious people who really enjoy trying to show you how smart they are. Some of them are way smarter than me. They just don't have any common sense.
All right, let's talk about the impeachment process that is supposedly cranking down on number 45. I'm talking about the golden comb-over one, El Presidente, Donald J. Trump. Folks, Rich, here's what I think. I think you know, when Paul talks about in 2 Timothy 3 about people who don't like the truth, they don't want to hear anything that has to do with reality.
Right.
They want their ears tickled. And so God says, you know what? I'm going to send a deluding influence on you so that you can believe lies. And as the King James says, not LeBron James, but the actual authorized 16th
Like someone
century,
who was a king who authorized the writing or translation of the Bible. Got it.
of which Jesus wrote that Bible. You know that to be a fact, right, Rich?
Yeah, of course he did.
As the authorized version said, that God gave them over to a deluding influence that they might believe lies, so that, this is what Paul, by inspiration of the Holy Spirit, said, not, judgmental, evil, evangelical dog. He said, so they might be damned. God damns people with a deluding influence so that they can believe lies. I think the whole Democratic Party has been baptized with a spirit of stupidity and stupor. This impeachment stuff, Rich, as far as I'm concerned, it is the dumbest, daft idea I think that they've ever come up with. I personally think it's going to implode on them, just like Haman erected the gallows for Mordecai to swing on. Will, look who's up on the noose right now. I think it's, and again, there's no love lost on me because I make it real clear that modern day liberalism has squat all to do with the biblical worldview. Therefore, I utterly reject it.
Yep.
So I do hope it implodes,
Well,
but I think they're blinded by Trump derangement syndrome.
Ephesians says this. It says to put away your former way of life. Check this out. Corrupt and deluded by its own lusts. And then it starts talking about putting on the new nature and the new life and renewing your mind. But I think it's interesting because you use the word deluded. Deluded, it's delusional, right? You're delusional. What makes you delusional? You're deluded by your own lust. What's lust? People think, oh man, I want to look at pornography. It can be that, but lust is any
lust for power,
unlawful desire. Any unlawful desire. Like if you are really physically aroused by your wife, that's not lust. And I hear people teach on that. They're like, don't lust your wife. That's because they're stupid. Somebody needs to slap them. So because that's a lawful desire.
Yeah, no, we got to go back to that. What did Solomon mean when he says you're supposed to absolutely love and get lost
and get
in your
down.
wife's boob
and get down
in your wife's boobies? Rejoice in the
right. So the problem is lust.
Motorboat 'em.
Lust is when you are desiring something that's unlawful for you. So someone that's not your wife, that's lust. And so, but it's also when you desire power in a position that's unlawful. And these people, when I say these people, I'm talking about the radical left. These people do not have an access to real power, the power that they want legally. They can't get there.
Yeah.
They have denied the election. They can't handle that. Now they know they can't win. And this has nothing. This has nothing. Now look, the whistleblower thing, the real whistleblower is Monica Lewinsky. We all know that. Nobody's going to argue that.
I'll tell you who the real whistleblower is, even though I understand where you're coming from. The real whistleblower, folks, y'all ready? We're going to break this right here on Clash. I'm sorry, right here on Warriors and Wildmen. Rich and I, right here, right now. The real whistleblower is Donald Trump. He's blowing bullshit on the left and on the right. That's right. And both sides of that same coin want to destroy him.
Yep. And here's the crazy thing about it. So their reason for starting impeachment proceedings is a whistleblower who wasn't in the room, who heard that somebody said that one time I heard this guy tell me that's hearsay. It's not. Right. Nobody, Doug, no one even argues. That is absolutely not admissible in court. Right. So you know what we should do? We should have a hearing based on something that no one thinks should be admitted. You are a freaking idiot. You are deluded by your own lust. You're so blinded and stupid because you can't. It's a political tactic. And they know they can't win because if it goes to the Senate, they're going to say, shut the hell up. I can't even handle it. It's dumb.
Yeah. But again, that's my point. It's like they have been taken over by a delusion, man. We are seeing, it's like, is this the fulfillment of the book of Revelations? I don't know about that, but it is a fulfillment of 2 Thessalonians 3 where, hey, listen, if you want, power, if you want control, if you're not going to stand in reality and believe truth, then God will just go, boom. Stupid spirit.
Yep.
believe your lies. And
stay delusional.
I don't know if you've been watching.
Delusional people can pass a lie detector test.
Yeah, of course. Just like George Costanza said, it's not a lie if you believe it's true.
That's right. They're not lying. They're stupid. Right. They're deluded. They're delusional. Yeah. They're idiots. They sound like idiots. I saw Cory Booker talking, and he's trying to talk like this. Yeah. And, I feel really bad that this is happening in our country. It's like, Cory, first of all, you don't talk like that ever. You look like this on everything we've ever seen. That's what he looks like on everything. He looks like some crazy freaking person, right? And then also he's like, yeah, it's just a real mark on America. You know what's a mark on America? You are. And then here's another thing.
Here's a skid mark on America.
Well, we're just protecting the Constitution. You mean to tell me all of a sudden the Democrats are constitutionalists? Good.
Hallelujah.
Then get off my free speech and my guns if we want to talk about Constitution. What the hell are these people talking? And then Christians are going, you know what? That's right, because Trump is a racist. This is all Christians. Christians. No, I'm mad. I'm mad.
We're going to get to the Christians here in uno momento. But
I don't even want to talk about the Christians. They make me mad.
Now, I don't know if you watched Hannity last night. Brilliant.
No, I was in bed.
Weeping. brilliant roll-in to this whole impeachment fiasco. He showed month by month from, gosh, I think it even started prior to actual Trump's inauguration, but definitely know from the time he sat behind that august desk where Bill boinked Monica, month by month on CNN and PMS, MSD, or whatever it is, MSNBC, yeah. Every month you've got some talking head saying, is this an impeachable offense? I think we have an impeachable offense. This is an impeachable offense. Folks, this has been in play forever. You know, they thought, aha, Stormy Daniel giving campaign money to a pirate hooker. Damn it, that didn't go through. Then it was Kavanaugh, you know, aha, we've got Kavanaugh gang rapes, getting chicks drunk. Boom, epic flop. Then it was Russia collusion, 2 years, anywhere from 25 to 40 million taxpayer dollars wasted on that wet dream of the left.
Yep.
Total flop. Now you got you got the most boring transcript of a phone call that has absolutely zero crimes in it at all. Ken Starr, who's a head impeachment guy during Slick Willie's impeachment hearings and stuff, he said, you know what, at the best, from a football standpoint, 5-yard penalty. This is not an ejection from the game.
Right.
This was just something that he should not have said, but being a high crime and misdemeanor, it doesn't even get off the ground. And but, you know, they've been trying it, man. Impeach, impeach, impeach. They have no policy. They have no persuasion. Nobody wants the Green New Deal. Socialism is untenable. It's been tried in every country and been found wanted. And you know what? It's just impeach.
How about the Squad? The Squad was like, we need to impeach Trump over finance violations, campaign finance. One of them's been convicted of campaign finance violation. The other 2 of the 3 are being investigated. It's like, and they're saying, impeach Trump for what I did.
Hey, bro, it doesn't
like
matter,
Joe Biden.
man.
Joe Biden's like, you know what? And then I told that SOB, and then he did what I said. And then, no, I've never talked about that ever. I've never said anything. It's like, we have the video of you stupid, idiot, old man. Listen to this. This is getting me fired up. I'm mad. So Ilhan Omar says, bullying on Twitter. Bullying is telling women of color, congresswomen, to go back. Bullying is calling those same congresswomen savages and pro-terrorists. So I responded to that tweet with this, and I said, so basically anyone who disagrees with a woman of color is bullying. Typical liberal garbage. Attack and defend the policies, you crybaby. So here's my thing. Here's the deal. Okay, you're an anti-Semite. You support terrorist organizations. You're anti-Christian. You're anti-America. And you think we don't like you because you're brown? Shut the hell. We have 10,000 reasons not to like you. You married your brother, you freaking sick freak. You married your brother, and then you're trying to tell us we don't like you because you're brown. You know what? If I don't like brown people, you would have given me 10,000 reasons not to like you before I got to brown. That doesn't even make sense. And then we're but we're doing that. So I can't say that. I'm white. I don't have a voice. You know what? Screw you and the horse you rode in on. I don't care. I don't even want to hear it. I'm tired. I'm so fed up. And then Christians are walking around going, no, I couldn't vote for Trump because he had sex with this girl, and then he married a beautiful woman, and he's rich, and I'm poor and jealous, and so I'm an idiot, and then he's white, and I'm tired of white people being in power. Okay, well, did you know that 71% of our country is white? So, all right, 3/4 of the people in the country, you're not allowed to be in power. Okay, well, let's take the rest of the country and figure out who's going to be in charge now. So now we'll do reverse racism. You're white, you can't have the job. That happened to me at a job, Doug. I was 17 years old, working at a job. I was a dishwasher. And so I had just got out of high school, and I had to be 18 to work at the proving grounds testing weapons. So I was washing dishes, making some money before I went to get that job. So I'm over there washing dishes, doing my thing, you know, and then they had a job that opened up, and it was to be a driver, and you get to drive, and you fill these orders and deliver food to these other little restaurants on base, right, this military base. And so I was like, cool, man, I'd rather drive around in a van, you know, making $1 an hour or more. I think I was making $3.15 or $3.85 an hour back then. And so this other job was like $5 an hour, driving a van instead of washing dishes, right? No brainer. I was like, so I put in for it. So there was 3 of us that put in for it. A Mexican guy, a Malaysian guy, and me. And so they said, what we're going to do to be fair is we're going to let everybody do the job for 1 week. After 1 week, we're going to evaluate how quick you learned and how well you did the job, and we'll decide who gets the job. Fair enough, right? One guy did the job. Next guy did the job. I did the job, Doug. I hustled, got in there, did the best that I could. They came to me at the end of the week, said it was unanimous decision. The 5 supervisors all said, you did the best job. You're the hardest worker. You got it. Monday morning, you're out of the dish room. You're driving van. I'm like, yeah, that's good, man. Got my first little promotion, you know? So I come to work on Monday, and they go, hey, we need to talk to you. I said, what? They said, both those other guys filed equal employment opportunity complaints on Friday when we told them. So you got to go back to the dish room because the 5 supervisors are white. So we can't promote a white person. So I told this lady who's
Kill Whitey.
who everything is racism and blah, blah, blah. I told her that story. You know, if she was consistent, what she should have said, because she was a woman of color, what she should have said is that's wrong. How does that feel? Right? But you know what she said? That's what you get. I'm like, wait, I thought we shouldn't have any opinions about anyone, hire anyone based on race, religion. We should, nope, not only when it's convenient to me. So these people, everything's racist, everything's Donald Trump. Christians are so stupid, I can't even talk to them when it comes to politics. I know I'm not even making any sense today. I'm just mad. I'm mad.
Well, one of the things that the Dear Sweet Squad and the other Democrats that are drinking their tainted breast milk need to realize is that it takes this thing called 2/3 of a supermajority to impeach a president.
Yeah, in the Senate.
According to this thing called the Constitution. It ain't going to happen, folks. And here's something that...
Hey, and Doug, let me throw this in there. And even with the nutless Republicans that are in there that like to play the I want to be important and be somebody, like that sucky crybaby from Arizona and the rest of these idiots that try to side with the Democrats so everybody will like them. Even with those guys, they have no chance. Zero chance. And let me say this. Even if they had evidence, even if they brought it, even if they did it, they still have zero chance. Let me throw that out there. Zero.
Well, you can, Rich, according to the chick that squared off with me on Russian television last week, she said, and I quote, Trump needs to be impeached even if there is no evidence. Dude, she's a lawyer. She's a liberal lawyer. She said, at first with the Russian collusion, when it looked like there wasn't anything there after 2 years, I was like, well, maybe we ought to let him skate. And then all of a sudden...
Let him skate. He was innocent. There's no letting anybody anything.
No, in their world, man, there's no due process. So anyway, she said, but when he did it again with this Ukrainian Zelensky president and he colluded to take out Joe Biden in this dastardly deal, he should be impeached even if there's no evidence. And dude, I'm like, what'd you say? Can you rewind that? Because it sounded like, we can convict people without due process, with zero evidence or credibility, no empirical data whatsoever. You say Orange Man bad, so Orange Man bad.
You're just a conspiracy theory guy. You're trying to act like us convicting people without any evidence that would make us not America and we're going to be a socialist kind of. It's people like you, Doug. You're just a conspiracy theory guy, and I can't get with that.
So Rich on
that was
Martha
extreme
McCallum.
Sarcasm. Let me just throw that.
I got it. So I'm watching Martha McCallum last night. Just finished doing a little work on this elephant painting for my buddy who shot an epic jumbo 100+ pound tusker in the Ogallala Delta last year. And so I'm trying to unwind, trying to decompress. You know what I'm talking about, Rich? Having a little adult beverage. I think you sent me a picture of your dirty martini.
Yep.
And I fired one back of a little Dripping Springs vodka with a Safari cigar. Just you and I saying how to do.
Yep, how we do it.
From a text message standpoint. I don't know if the kids have ever heard of this before, but it's called text message. Anyway, so I'm sitting there watching Martha McCallum. She's got a roundtable discussion with millennials in the digital generation or some digital... the Digi or the Z or the Y. Shit, I can't even keep up with what they're calling these entitled miscreants.
So I'm volunteering for the job.
So you got like 6 of them there. So 6 of them sitting in a little round table. And dude, you can just look at who's the liberal socialist nut job who thinks occasional cortex is Mother Teresa. So I'm sitting there just waiting for him to sound off. And then, of course, he goes into, Orange Man bad. And then all of a sudden I'm looking, okay, who's the liberal chick? Who's the liberal? Oh, there she is. And Rich,
Just the ugly little one.
No, she was actually cute, man. She looked like occasional Cortex's, cuter sister. But she said this, and I quote, she goes, well, I just think he needs to be impeached, and I just think he needs to leave because, the people don't like him.
You didn't say
no,
like
she said the people, we don't like him anymore. And so he just needs to resign. Okay. And I was like thinking, hey, there's another, even though he was way better, more holy, never sinned. His name's Jesus. You might have heard of him before, Rich.
People didn't like him either.
Yeah, he got under people's skin, man. And I believe they killed him at the end of the movie. I didn't see. I stepped up for popcorn when I was watching The Passion. But I hear he was put to death because they didn't like him. And that's, to me, what she said. What she said and what that chick that was, countering me on Russian television said last week is just absolutely, 100% descriptive of this generation. Yep. No evidence, throw him out, convict him. We don't like you anymore, then you're off American Idol. And this is some scary shit, man, for people who are, at least from a chronological standpoint, they are adults and their thinking is just abysmal. And again, I think it's a 2 Thessalonians 3 hoodoo, voodoo, here's a delusion. Boop, yep. You're all crazy spirit that comes from on high, man.
Totally
so
true.
Interesting stuff, brother.
Doug, I want to bring up Greta. That little ugly brat from wherever she's from. Know what?
David Hogg's twin sister, right?
She probably, and some people are like, how could you call her ugly? It's easy. I look at her and I go, wow, she's not pretty. But you know what makes her ugly, Doug? It's
hate.
It's not. Yeah, it's
hate
that
does.
look on her face. She has this twisted talk out the side of my mouth and and her condescending, arrogant. Like that's what makes her ugly. She's an ugly person. Now, if she get that look off her face and sit up and put some makeup on, put a little paint on the barn, she'd probably be all right. But check this out. I put something on Facebook. I know you're banned from live from Facebook, but I still write a couple things on there. I said, I agree with Greta about one thing. Why is she talking to us on this side of the ocean when she should be in school? Someone needs to shut this brat up and send her to her room. If you want to know what's going wrong in the world today, one major issue is the breakdown of the family. And I'm specifically talking about elevating children to instructors instead of pupils. Here's a list of things to restore your home. And I went through some of the things about honoring your parents, and children should never interrupt adults when they're speaking, much less who the hell gathers the people for the UN and puts a microphone in front of a brat? Shut the hell up. And then you're scolding me. You're like, I shouldn't be here. I agree. Shut the hell up. Go back to school. Why are you talking? And then people are like, you shouldn't attack her. I'm not attacking her. I don't want to hear her. Well, she's just repeating the garbage that her parents says, right? And then listen, I wrote, this is one of the points. Children's self-esteem should be connected to their achievements and accomplishments according to their potential, not compared to other people. What's her achievements and her accomplishments? She's out there living her life for fake science because her parents pumped her up full of propaganda. She's garbage. She's doing nothing. She's contributing nothing. Zero. Zilch. But she feels so good about herself. And you know what? I'm not trying to pick on her personally, except that I am. I'm picking on every other brat like that wants to get on there and try to tell me what to do. Shut up. Go to your room.
Hey, did you see the reporter catch her in the little smarmy panel of junk science eco warriors?
I love that.
And he asked her a straight up question. Said, "Do you mind expounding upon what you would say to world leaders?" And she didn't have her little script. She didn't have her little notes.
She didn't practice it 15 times in front of her parents in her living room. How dare you steal my dreams?
She didn't have the phonetic spelling, of American colloquialisms in front of her. And man, she was sitting there like, she sounded like, Butthead, when Beavis would ask him if he wants to watch REO Speedwagon
and her deep answer. You remember what her answer was? Why
ask
don't
them.
you ask other people here?
Right.
Because,
Hey, another thing.
Can we need
Another
to
thing
post
for
the
it,
video of her with the death metal when they put her speech to the
Oh,
death metal?
dude.
I
Yeah, I
love that.
saw
Was
that.
gold. That's the
Right.
best. It's like,
Yeah, so-
you have stolen my dreams. It's like, shut up.
The planet's dying.
I like this. She says, then you come to us for hope. No, you know what we don't? We do not come to you for hope. We don't come to you for anything because you contribute nothing to the family other than hugs. And dogs can provide that, and they're way cheaper. We can't even get you to clean your freaking room, and you think we are coming to children for something. You know what we come to you for? To dump all of our money into, to control our whole schedule in our life for the next 18 or so years. But we're coming to you for something. If I came to you for something, it'd be to hand you some makeup, chick, and to send you to get your hair done. You look like an idiot.
Here's another thing.
Solar-powered yacht coming to the U.S. trying to scold me.
Here's another thing that I found interesting, and I don't know who pointed it out, but they're like, "Hey, Greta, you sure got a lot of anger and rage there." And please note that when Gandhi's dealing with rank British colonialism in India, and he's trying to free up that nation, and when Martin Luther King Jr. was fighting against insane racism and paid one of the highest prices, that both of them, Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., never got as angry as you did.
Right. Right.
So,
no, and then,
but again,
and then I'm going to pull up this quote real quick of well, he just basically said, you can't fight hate with hate. Only love can do that. And so his whole thing is it's a whole different response. And so this stuff is garbage. I'm just, you know what? Here's the problem.
Hey, Rich, I want to.
The world's going to go crazy, but why is the church crazy?
All right, let's get off Greta for a second.
I'm not even talking about Greta.
Yeah, I want to bring something up that I've got some serious Washington insiders and stuff, and I have it on good authority, man, that the right, I'm talking about the establishment right, the people, the Never Trumpkins, everyone who, the Gang of 22, all the Goldbergs, the Frums, the Lowrys, all these people are rich with glee at the possibility that Trump might be impeached, or he could be ousted from office, or he could resign on his own accord. They are just as giddy up there on Capitol Hill as the left is. And folks, please note that's disgusting. Also, I think Trump's going to go down in history as somebody who made America great, kept America great, and it was in direct conflict and contrast to not only the delusional left, but also the Never Trumpkins. We're going to see them resurrect like never before, brother. And not so much, the lawmakers or our senators and stuff, but I think by and large, you're going to see people on Fox News that have hated Trump really pull out their daggers, that call themselves Republicans like never before. We're going to see all the National Review harpies resurrect, and it's going to show true colors. And here's one thing that I hope, and I got to get this in before we close out this podcast. I want them to go to a vote. I want to see, especially the battleground people that represent their constituents in those battleground states. I want to see how they vote. I want to see if they're going to risk their own election to get rid of Trump. Let's push for a vote. Let's get it. Let's get it on
record.
I don't want to. To me, it's like, yes, let's do it. I want you guys to vote. I want you to go on record. Quit bloviating. Let's get get in there and let's do some business, and let's see who's serious about this.
Yep, absolutely.
So they'll never get reelected if they vote for Trump's impeachment in those battleground states.
No, not in the battleground states, and they're just playing to their base in the stupid places anyway. You referred earlier to the article about that Mario Murillo wrote about pastors and why churches, 75% of pastors aren't saying anything.
Horrible.
75%.
Yeah.
And he talks about in the article that primarily one of the pastor's primary jobs is to be a watchman on the wall. And if you don't warn people of the incoming or oncoming danger, the imminent danger, then the blood's on your hands.
Yeah.
And so we're letting
15
we're letting our kids walk into that in school. We're letting them walk into it in the university. We're letting people walk into it to go vote for whatever because they want some free thing, or they don't like Trump because he's too rich and his wife's too beautiful. Whatever their issues are, and we don't warn them about anything, and then we're marching right towards the cliff. Christians.
Yeah, and again, if people think Rich and I are filled with specious do, remember, if you're still voting Democrat, you're voting for the pro-death ticket. You're voting for the anti-theistic party. They booed God.
Yep.
The Satanist, the secularist, the anti-theist, all of them, or the great preponderance of them, love the Democratic Party.
Yep.
So if you're cool with that, then yeah, knock yourself out. If you like socialism, which is theft, then you need to vote against Trump and vote for Democrats. If you like, what else do you like? If you like abortion and infanticide,
Yep.
and you call yourself a Christian, if you like the LGBTQ agenda, the radical gay marriage, and you like terrorist groups like Antifa, then
And you're
vote against
anti-Christian?
Trump.
You want to be anti-Christian?
Then vote against Trump and vote Democrat. Okay.
Listen in his article.
If you hate Israel, then vote against Trump and vote Democrat. Okay, Christian? So you don't think, I'm not going to vote for Trump, because my poli-sci teacher at Tallahassee Junior College says he's the devil. Well, you know what?
Him and his boyfriend says that Trump's a devil. Hey, Mario says this in his article. He said there's another villain in the situation that I'm calling out. It's the lukewarm Christian who threatens their pastor if he dares preach the truth.
Yeah.
If you have in any way threatened your pastor by removing your money or your influence because they preach against abortion or declare that marriage is only valid when it's between one man and one woman, God help you. I was preaching this week, Doug, and I was talking about misdirected anger, wrong target. You remember the old saying, you get mad at work and you go home and kick the dog, right? And I brought that up and I thought, man, people are probably offended by that. And I said, no, I'm sorry. We couldn't kick the dog because somebody would go to prison. So you know what? Go home, don't kick the dog. Kill the baby, drag it out of the room, and then paint the baby's room and put the dog in the baby's room. That's where we're at today, that kind of stuff. And so I'm telling you, Doug, that's offensive to people. And it doesn't bother me that it's offensive to people. It bothers me that it's offensive to so-called Christians.
The thing that, what you just quoted about what Mario said in his column, Did Your Pastor Tell You to Vote, that he just floated today. The thing that I find interesting is I've talked to a lot of elders, a lot of pastors, and they say we don't want to go there. We've got
it's because they're pussies. That's why.
No, but just we don't want to go there. We have people who like both parties. They vote Democrat, they vote Republican. It's like, guy, listen, help me help you. This is not the party of JFK. 50 years ago, JFK, as Mario points out in his column, wouldn't even recognize this anti-Christian, anti-constitutional, anti-Ten Commandment mess that the left has morphed into. So your choices are being a Christian or being a liberal, because you cannot be both if you're going to hold to the biblical worldview,
right.
Period.
Right.
I wrote a column on that, I think, 15 years ago, and every time I float it, it goes viral because, people love it and people hate it. And the lukewarm Christian, because everybody,
that's most like of them, Doug.
Yeah, so the pastor, so the elder, they're like, well, we don't want to offend. Who's the asshole you don't want to offend? They probably don't tithe. They probably haven't put anybody in the church. They're the squeaky wheel. They get the grease. You know what? Let them hop on down the road to some liberal church with liberal, lesbian, radical, ministers. Let them get the hell out of. Have you ever thought that maybe the greatest thing that could ever happen to your church is for that chunk of cholesterol to get out of your body?
Yep. Boom. That's right.
It could be, man. I don't know. But to me, I would, and here's another thing, man. If you stand for truth, minister, pastor, if you stand for truth, yes, it's going to cost you people, you moron. Jesus said it would cost you people. Right. So, instead of crucify your desire to be liked and loved and embrace, preaching the full gospel, come what may. And I guarantee this is, every time I've done this, Rich, every time this has happened, I take a stand, people blow out, and then you know what happened? Whoosh! Here come the people, and here come the money.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here's something to think about. I think this will help people
real
too,
money
Doug.
instead of like this chump change
People
that
are like,
lukewarm dipstick gives.
You guys are just Republican, pro-Republican. Let me say this. I'm not pro-nothing. I don't care. I'm pro-God. So the problem is that in America, it's not with this person and that person. There's two very distinct worldviews. What I'm standing against is evil. And right now, the Democratic Party is standing for evil. They're standing for murdering babies, gay marriage,
They booed
pedophilia.
God, Rich.
They booed
They
God
booed-
at their
they
own
booed
convention.
God.
They're anti-Christian, anti-Israel, anti-everything, and I'm against that. And so, if you're a Christian, you can be for those things. And I'm going to say that you're not a Christian, or you haven't been awakened to the truth. I don't say woke because I have proper grammar and I don't use gutter slang when I'm trying to make a point. And so, I'm awakened to truth. I'm not woke to being stupid. So the reality, I want to just end my whole thing, just any of this, with a quote from Mario's article. I'll just leave it with him. He says this. This is all I have to say. Tens of millions of Christians have the power to vote these evildoers out of office. And God help us right now, because 15 million of them are not even registered to vote.
Yeah. You know why? Because they're concerned with spiritual things, and politics is carnal. And you know who else did that, Rich? This group called the German Church in the late 20s and the early 30s. They were, as Dietrich Bonhoeffer called them, salvation egoists who decided to have quaint little Bible studies while Adolf Hitler mounted his death-dealing altar there in Deutschland. And and you know, he let them carry on. Didn't really bother them. They weren't a threat to him politically. And however, when he became chancellor, oof, man, did he start crushing skulls. And not only of Jews, but he also slaughtered a lot of Christians, millions of them.
Yep.
And you know, I'll end on this. In the book of Acts, the early church exploded. It grew. It was during the Pax Romana, when Rome is governing the whole planet. And you know, Rome didn't care who you worshipped. They had a pantheon of gods, man.
Yep.
You could worship whoever, whenever, whatever. However, if you said Christos Kyrios, Jesus is Lord, instead of Caesar is Lord, then that was a political offense. And then that's when they rode their chariots in to crush you. And that was the message of the early church. That's why they killed them, is that the kingdom of God has come. There's another king, not Caesar. Christ is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Matter of fact, in the book of Acts, I think Christ is referred to as Lord 92 times and Savior twice. So the reason that the early church was killed was political offense, because their allegiance was to another world, another worldview, had crap all to do with worshiping and kissing Caesar's backside. And I don't know if you can read between the lines, Warrior and Wildmen subscriber and listener, but that's where we are right now. You can obey the state, or you can obey the Word of God. Currently, as Rich said, the conservatives and the libertarians are lined up more under the infrastructure of the Judeo-Christian worldview. The liberals, the Democrats, they've completely abandoned it. And not only have they abandoned it, they whiz on it with impunity. So that's where I am. I'm not a Republican. You know, I'm a believer. I believe in the implementation of a biblical worldview from a policy standpoint, and extrapolating that biblical worldview on Western civilization is what made America the grand experiment in self-governance, of which 97% of all benevolence from this country flows to the other countries. And so I want to see that preserved and upheld. And there's no way in Hades, man, that the left is going to do that. So good luck if you want to vote for a Democrat. Good luck sleeping at night. Good luck squaring that with the whole counsel of God, because I don't think that it fits in any form or fashion within a biblical worldview framework. But that's just me, man. That's just me.
I think that'll do it. I think we killed it.
So what's a Warrior and Wildmen listener got to do, brother? What aside from what we just exhorted them to do?
Get saved. Go to a Bible-believing church. Renew your mind. Stop voting for baby killers and trying to tell Jesus that it's okay. Other than that, go to warriorsandwildmen.com. Like us, subscribe, follow us, find us on social media. Send us a message. We got a couple great messages we'll be reading on the next episode. Check it out, Warriors and Wildmen.